Hello there. So today I'm going to be talking about ChatGPT, what it is, and what it means for content creators. Before I begin, a quick reminder to like this video, hit the subscribe button, and click the notifications bell. A little bit about me. My name's Chris Singleton. I'm the founder of Style Factory, a digital marketing blog. I write a lot about e-commerce. I'm the author of a book called Super Simple SEO, which teaches you how to optimize your site for Google search. And like everyone else, I'm wondering what on earth ChatGPT means for content creators. So today I'm going to take you through a few things. I'm going to discuss what ChatGPT is and how it works. I'm going to look at some use cases for content creators. I'll go through some limitations and ethical considerations of ChatGPT, and I'll finish up with a discussion on the overall implications for content creators of using ChatGPT and other AI tools. So let's start with a key question. What is ChatGPT? Well, the simple answer is that it's a very clever, articulate chatbot. It can hold very human like conversations. It can provide data on a really wide range of topics. And I guess most significantly, from a content creator's point of view, it can generate new and highly usable content. It can do things like recommend music. It can also give you recipes, but it can do more sophisticated things too, like generate computer code. So in this example here, I've asked ChatGPT to generate me some schema code for my website, and the results it's given me are very good and very usable. Another thing it can do is help you create presentations. So in this example here, I've asked ChatGPT for a structure that I could use at the London Book Fair for a presentation, funnily enough, about ChatGPT. And as you can see, it's given me some headings and some useful bullet points. And of course, most interestingly for content creators, ChatGPT can create really long form content. So in this example here, I'm asking ChatGPT to write me a 1,000 word blog post about the implications of ChatGPT for content creators. And again, it's given me some very usable content that I can edit to suit my needs, or if I really wanted to, I could just publish it as it is. In terms of where ChatGPT comes from, it was created by a company called OpenAI. The founders of OpenAI include the investors and entrepreneurs Sam Altman and Elon Musk, but it's also got some very big corporates behind it, including Microsoft and Infosys. But how does ChatGPT work? Well, the technical term for a tool like ChatGPT is a large language model, but the best way to think of it is as an emulation in code of the human brain. It's an artificial neural network. And this network is trained on huge quantities of data. So, ChatGPT has been fed data from a large range of online sources, including Wikipedia articles, digital copies of books, social media content, news articles, forum discussions. And once ChatGPT was trained on this data, it started being able to hold very human like conversations. And it started to be able to create very usable and very human like content. But what are the applications then for content creators and content publishers? For me, one of the most useful applications of ChatGPT is idea generation. I'll often bounce ideas off ChatGPT when I'm trying to create new content. You can see in this example here, I'm asking ChatGPT to suggest a structure for a blog post about how AI might affect e commerce. In the results, you can see that it's given me an introduction, it's given me some section titles, it's given me bullet points for what each section could contain. And then I'm free to either kind of take those suggestions on board or ignore them entirely. But generally speaking, ChatGPT gives me starting points for articles or uncovers things that I might not have necessarily considered including. And you don't have to restrict yourself to asking ChatGPT for things like blog posts. You can actually be a bit more ambitious than that. So, for example, here I'm asking it to give me an idea for a novel about AI. And as you can see, it's given me 5 suggestions for my novel title. And it's also given me some plot summaries that I could potentially use or adapt. You can also use ChatGPT as a really handy research tool. Sticking with the novel idea, in this example, I'm asking ChatGPT to give me 5 famous London music venues from the 1960s that I could use in a novel about a London musician that's set in that period. And as you can see, it's given me 5 very usable venues that I can put in my novel and create an appropriate historical backdrop with. Another great application of ChatGPT is as an editing tool. So I'm not sure how fair I'm being to Shakespeare here by roping him into this presentation, but in this example, I'm asking ChatGPT to rewrite one of his famous passages so that it's easier to understand for a modern audience. And lo and behold, I get some rewritten text, which is actually very clear and very easy to understand, although not remotely as poetic. Another application of ChatGPT is as a translation tool. So in this example, I'm asking ChatGPT to translate my text into French, and it does a good job of this, and it does it quickly. You can also use ChatGPT for marketing and PR purposes. So in this example, I'm asking ChatGPT to write me a press release for the reissue of a Robert Harris novel. And as you can see, I've given it some information about format, I've given it the date, and I've given it the instruction to write a press release that includes a plot summary and some selected praise for the book. And lo and behold, here we have a press release that's pretty well written, easy to understand, contains key details. I'd probably want to edit it slightly and fact check it, but on the whole, it's a very usable piece of content. And of course, there's the option to use ChatGPT as a means to write really long content. So in this example, I'm asking it to write the opening chapter of a detective story. Okay, so those are a few applications of ChatGPT. The question is this all gimmicky stuff, or are people really using ChatGPT to create content? The answer is actually yes. There's an increasing use of ChatGPT, certainly in the field that I work in, blogging. I've encountered lots of my contemporaries using ChatGPT to create or edit content in various ways. And in fact, some websites have been found out for creating content at scale with ChatGPT and similar AI tools. And interestingly, if you go on to the Kindle store and stick in ChatGPT as the author of books that you'd like to read, you'll find that there are quite a lot of books that appear to have been authored by ChatGPT or co-authored by ChatGPT in the search results. So I checked a couple of days ago and I found that 771 Kindle ebooks had ChatGPT as an author in some way. Okay, so we've talked about a lot of the funky stuff that ChatGPT can do, but there are some limitations to be aware of, and I'm going to take you through some of these now. So, the first limitation to watch out for is accuracy. The data that ChatGPT was trained on only stretches to September 2021. So if you ask ChatGPT a question about something that happened after that date or something that was created after that date, you'll often get some quite strange or inaccurate answers or no answer at all. Another thing that ChatGPT isn't great at is understanding context. It it doesn't always understand the user's intent. So, for example, if you and I are having a conversation and I say something like, "Oh, what was the name of that big ship again?" You might understand that I'm referring to the Titanic. But if I asked ChatGPT that question, it probably wouldn't have a clue what I was on about. So, when you're using ChatGPT, it's really important to give it as precise an instruction as you possibly can. And this need for precise instructions has actually led to the development of a whole new role, the role of a prompt engineer. And a prompt engineer's job is to create instructions or questions for AI tools like ChatGPT that are totally unambiguous and are designed to get the absolute best information or result out of the AI tool. There's also an issue with lack of attribution in ChatGPT. So, ChatGPT provides a digest of content creators' work, but it doesn't attribute any of its sources. So, I've got two problems with this. So, one is that when ChatGPT creates some content based on a request, it pulls in the information from other people's work and it doesn't credit them for their contribution to the new content that's being created. And the other problem I have is that this lack of attribution makes it harder to trust what ChatGPT is telling you or creating for you. So you have to be very careful, therefore, with publishing the content that ChatGPT creates because you really don't know where it's getting its information from. It could be inaccurate, and this means that you end up doing quite a lot of fact checking, which kind of takes away from the usefulness of the tool because it slows everything down. There are also some education headaches to consider. As you've probably seen in various news articles, ChatGPT is getting pretty good at writing essays, which is delighting some students and irritating their teachers or professors. And it's got to the stage where some educational institutions are actually doing away with essays as a means of assessing student performance. Another concern that people have about ChatGPT is the potential it offers for creating fake news and manipulative content really quickly and really cheaply. In the wrong hands, ChatGPT offers the possibility of creating really plausible, manipulative content at scale. And in this era of disinformation, that's obviously something we need to watch out for. But perhaps the biggest worry around ChatGPT is that it's accelerated an AI revolution that we're not entirely ready for. So, all these tech companies are racing to introduce AI into their products and create brand new AI tools, but all this is being done against the backdrop of a lack of regulation. And this is very worrying because we don't really understand AI technology yet. That goes not just for consumers and governments, but actually for the tech companies creating the AI tools themselves. For example, Sundar Pichai, who heads up Google, is on record as saying that those working in the field of AI view it as something of a black box. They don't always understand how it works and why it outputs certain things the way it does. And of course, without wishing to sound too matrixy or terminatory around ChatGPT and similar tools, there are existential risks associated with AI. When you think about how AI could be used in warfare or for propaganda purposes, there are some scary scenarios. AI is something that's not being approached in a particularly cautious way right now. So, moving away now from the doomsday scenarios, let's take a look at the overall implications for content creators of ChatGPT and similar tools. AI is going to make some things a lot easier. I think ChatGPT has already shown the potential of AI chatbots as really good idea generation tools. I think in time, ChatGPT could also be a brilliant research tool. I think it already does a fantastic job of editing copy and proofreading it, and it's also great for translation. But all this funky stuff means that certain jobs may be at risk or may change. So, for example, you could see some editors, translators, and copywriters eventually being replaced by AI tools. You could see other people in those roles having to embrace AI in ways that they might not have expected doing. For example, you could see editors running text through ChatGPT style tools for proofreading purposes. You could see translators doing an initial draft of a translation using ChatGPT and then sense checking it afterwards. You could see copywriters bouncing ideas off ChatGPT or using it to create structures for articles and novels. One of the biggest implications of the introduction of ChatGPT is the knock on effects that it may have on search engines. When ChatGPT came along last November, it caused a code red at Google, who realized that this new way of retrieving information from the web had the potential to really upend the whole search engine industry and its whole business model. So, accordingly, Google is currently racing to introduce AI in search, which means that the nature of its search engine is likely to change over the next couple of years. And accordingly, new SEO rules may apply to people who run websites. So, content creators may have to familiarize themselves with a whole new way of doing SEO. So, who's going to win out of all this? Well, if history is a guide, it's going to be early adopters, people who understand the implications of ChatGPT and similar tools and really make the technology work for their roles and for their content. So, I'm going to finish up now with some top tips for content creators when it comes to using ChatGPT and similar AI tools. The first thing I'd say is to approach ChatGPT with a positive and curious mindset. Yes, it's a scary tool that has the potential to change the way we work and replace certain jobs, but it's also a very useful tool that has the potential to improve our content and to help us scale the production of it up. So start trying it out, get some hands on experience of ChatGPT, and work out ways that it can improve your creativity and productivity. One of the best ways of thinking about ChatGPT is not as a tool that's going to replace everything you do, but as a tool that can serve as a useful assistant to your content in your content production process. And finally, stay on top of AI developments. This is a fast moving area, and by staying posted to blogs by Microsoft, OpenAI, Google, and so on, you can keep up to date with the latest developments and make sure that you're not missing any tricks when it comes to AI. And that's it. So head on over to stylefactoryproductions.com if you'd like to join our mailing list and get more resources about ChatGPT, web design, SEO, and much more. Thanks very much for watching.